And welcome back to Durban. And we are, of course, as we have been all morning, at the Mount Edgecombe Interchange. And this broadcast, of course, brought to you courtesy of SANRAL, who have been instrumental, of course, in not just the building, but of course, they will have to look at the upkeep of this impressive piece of engineering. But of course, before I get back to the CEO of SANRAL, I want to introduce the head of Transport Authority here in eThekwini, and that's Mr. Tami Manyati. Thanks so much for coming through as well.
Thank you for having me.
So this particular development, of course, in a response to rapid growth to the north of the city. So what is driving that growth to the north?
Well, like it's a lot of things. I think the partnership between the city and some of the business community, especially Tonga Hewlett Development, who are the major landholder in this area. The movement of the airport from the south portion of the city to the northern part of the city and the location of Dube Trade Port. Those are the catalyst for development in the northern area here in the city.
And of course, this particular bridge, and it's only being officially opened today, but it's already an award-winning bridge, along with another few accolades that the city has garnered over the past couple of months. Tell us about that. What are you doing right here in eThekwini?
In the city, we're trying to make the city the most livable city in the continent by 2030. And it is a lot of focus on understanding, what are the critical interventions necessary from the government and identifying key partners. And in this particular case, we've partnered with SANRAL in the delivery of this infrastructure because not only does it help in terms of their own core business of keeping the national freeways moving, but it is a critical infrastructure for our own economic development here in the city. And the employment that has been generated during the construction of the infrastructure is also very critical. I think by focusing on those things, we're able to move the city forward.
And I want to come to the CEO of SANRAL once again with regard to the upkeep of this facility. The Deputy Minister was just talking about getting and finding the money to actually maintain these roads, because it's one thing to build them, but if we can't maintain them, that will pose a problem.
Indeed, and that's a critical component of the work that we do. It doesn't help to build infrastructure if you've got no idea how you're going to maintain it, because all that will happen over time is the quality of the infrastructure will go down. And all of the intended growth and development that is associated with road infrastructure will then be compromised, and traffic will grow and vehicle user costs will increase. So SANRAL has a very healthy routine road maintenance system that we use, which is part of our asset management system. In any bit of money that we get in allocations on any year, we start with maintenance. We have made a decision from engineering principles that we would rather not build more infrastructure or expand capacity if we don't have money. So we start with maintenance every year, which is why if you look at our statistics, SANRAL is just about the only entity in this country that is able to demonstrate the ability to meet the international benchmarks in terms of preserving road infrastructure. SANRAL only has about 4%, just over 4%, 4.1% of our infrastructure in poor to very poor condition. The international benchmark is to keep that below 10%.
And I guess, that's what the Deputy Minister was also talking about previously, something that South Africans can be very proud of. Number 18 in the world, that's how we are ranked in terms of our road infrastructure. But I just, before we end this broadcast, I want to talk about your strategy moving forward as SANRAL, that strategic vision towards 2030. If you could just let us in on that.
Yes, Horizon 2030 is our new trajectory and vision for where we would like to take roads development in this country over the next 12 years to 2030. We've used 2030 as the horizon because we are aligning it with the National Development Plan. A lot of SANRAL projects are already part of the strategic integrated projects under the National Development Plan. So a lot of our projects are going to unlock a lot of the other projects that should be realized as part of the National Development Plan. And our focus there is, number one, we're going to deliver a fresh 2030 roads plan that is going to outline to industry all of the road improvements and new sections that we're going to be developing over the next 12 years. That's absolutely important. As you know, the construction industry is ailing. If we do that, there will be certainty in the market on what projects will be rolled out over the next 12 years, and companies can gear up to provide services to us. The second most important element is the resolution of the question of what funding model we apply for roads development. We have reaffirmed that government is the primary funder of SANRAL as a Schedule 2 entity. But we have seen the value of having private finance supplement public funds, because with public funds alone, you only move so much. With private funds, you can move a lot quicker.
Indeed. We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much to both of you for coming through, and to everybody else who has been here since the very early hours of this morning. It's been fantastic, and from this beautiful backdrop behind us of the Mount Edgecombe Interchange, we're going to leave it there, and back to you, Leanne, in the studio.